What's up, everybody? Another video for the day. It's gonna be it's gonna be a fun one. Recent video that I dropped talking about some new original Asian characters that we got in the War of the Realms, or during the War of the Realms, specifically in Agents of Atlas, right? And this guy leaves this long wall of text, man. Like it's a wall of text. Honestly, I'm gonna be completely honest. Before I shot this video, I didn't even go through the whole thing because I wanted to wait for us to do it together. But long story short, he's mad at the fact, which a lot of people get mad at the fact, I'm calling out tokenized characters, right? Now I want to be clear, which I'm always clear, right? I'm always clear. I refer to specific things when I talk about tokenized characters, right? That is either a race change, gender change, sexuality change of a pre-established character. That is that, and usually this happens with the white characters. This character was classically white, and then they turn the character into a black person, right? That would be an example of tokenizing. And then you have where the character solely exists because of his tokenized status, meaning that I would say this character is a tokenized character if this character was just thrown in there because they're gay, thrown in there because they're black, and the narrative sort of hyper-emphasizes the fact that they are black, or the fact that they're gay, or the fact that they're a female or something like that, right? So this guy here, named Bear Manley, he had a lot to say. So let's go through it. I'm gonna break it down because, and the reason why I want to do a video, because maybe some people are confused. Maybe some people are confused as to, I don't know how. I've done numerous videos on this. I've defined it. I've been pretty consistent with it. Maybe some other people are confused, so it's going to be a nice little thought exercise. Bear Manley says, so when the character is white, it's all good. No, first and foremost, I've never made that claim that when the character is white, it's all good. That is, if all good means that they just are well-developed, solid characters. So plenty of white characters that are trash. But anytime the character is literally any other race, they are tokenized. Got it. Well, again, I just defined that. And they are tokenized if the character was classically white, and then they turn them into a let's say a black person, right? That's kind of what it is, right? It's not a kind of, that's just what it is, right? She-Hulk is a tokenized version of Hulk. Supergirl is a tokenized Superman. All these, you have Silk, who's a Korean tokenized Spider-Man, right? So this is what this is, right? You can have like 5 fucking white Robins, which means that they wouldn't be tokenized if there's obviously the let's say the second, third, fourth, and the fifth Robin are like that. You can maybe say that they're not original. Well, it's not a maybe. You could say that. You can make that claim. You can make that claim that they're unoriginal, but that doesn't mean they're tokenized. Those are not sort of mutually exclusive in the sense that basically both of them can exist on their own. You can be unoriginal and not be a tokenized character. Absolutely. But this fucking second, just one of them appears as a black guy, they're tokenized. Correct. And he's saying it's like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, that's kind of what the word means, right? When I use it in the context of how I use it. You can have Batman, Batgirl, Batwoman, all white, all okay, but the moment one is Asian is a token. False. Completely false. This is completely false, right? This guy is, now at this point, he's straw manning. We 3 sentences in, and he's already straw manning the position. Batgirl, ain't that some shit, right? I've already done a video talking about Batwoman and how she's a tokenized version of Batman, right? Ain't that some shit? I have numerous videos talking about that. I've talked about Batgirl. I've talked about Batwoman. You becoming a tokenized version of another character is not exclusive to race. It can be race. It could also be gender. Holy cow. 3 sentences in. Bucky can be Captain America and it's A-OK. It doesn't mean that it's A-OK. I wish Bucky would stay Bucky and Captain America could stay Steve Rogers. But when Falcon became Captain America, he was tokenized. Basically, yeah, that's exactly what it was. Falcon, though, he was the original character. Falcon should never have been Captain America. He never should be Captain America. It's one of the worst things that happen in the comics, and I hate that they're bringing it to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You can have a bunch of different people be Thor, including a fucking horse-faced alien. When it was a woman, she's a token. All right. Do you not see how fucking stupid this guy is? He just contradicted himself right here. I mean, we're talking about one sentence in between. Well, two, technically. But one line in between, which is this line right here. He says, or he alludes to the idea that these characters, which are all white, are not tokens. But the Asian one, referring to Silk, basically, is a token. He then, two sentences, one line later, says, but when it was a woman, it was a token. Like, are you fucking, you just contradicted yourself. No, Thor is a tokenized version of Thor. I wish they kill off Jane Foster. Now she's all mother of Asgard. This character is trash. Oh, man. This is why I love reading comics, because you got dipshits like this. You can have a billion white copycat characters inspired by the hero pop up and it's A-OK, but the moment one of them is a person of color, they are token. Yes, absolutely. And again, it doesn't mean that the other copycat versions aren't copycat versions. You can be a copycat version, you can be a completely unoriginal character. That doesn't mean that you're a tokenized version of the character. If I make 16 white versions of this character that was always been classically white, that doesn't mean that those characters are solid by any chance. The first one can be the only one that's worth a goddamn. As for example, there's multiple, like you got Wally West, you got Barry Allen. None of those guys are Jay Garrick, right? But they're not tokenized versions of Flash. Now, when they turned Wally West to a black guy, yes, he then became a tokenized Flash. Brought in there because he was black. I don't know what's so confusing to this guy. If Cho, this is a big wall of text, by the way. If Cho was a white friend of Bruce's and became the Hulk, no one would call him token. No, they wouldn't. It's because he's Asian. Yes, that's exactly what it is. He's saying, like I imagine a guy typing this, like thinking he got the shit figured out. Not only is he contradicting some of what he's previously said, but he's validating my position. Again, but this is between lines. Again, he's kind of all over the place, right? One party is straw man, meaning the next party will validate my position. But when he does validate my position, he's pearl clutching, right? Like, how could you say that? You can have Bruce, Jennifer, Ross, Betty, Blonsky, and Scar, but no one is a token until Cho shows up. Well, Jennifer is a tokenized version of Hulk. I don't know how many times I have to say that. I've said this on video. She's actually one of my prime heroes that I point to say that they're tokenized versions of another character. I always bring up usually her and Supergirl. Now, not all tokenized characters are, let's say, like what I'm saying is some tokenized characters are better than others, right? It's a scale, right? They're just still tokenized characters. Some are better. Some are, just flat out trash. Some are mildly trash. You know what I mean? How many fucking spider people were running around before Miles showed up? A bunch of them, and most of them are tokens. Tokenized characters. If Silk was a white chick, you wouldn't be complaining. I'd be saying that she's a tokenized super. Like, again, I want to, look, hey guys, you see that he says this. He literally just said this. He's being a contrarian, bros. And there's a lot of people that comment like this. They're contrarians. And what they are is that they try to say stuff just because they're offended, right? So they're just trying to be on the opposite side of the position. Even if it means that they have to contradict their own position, they're so willing and ready to be on the opposite side. He literally says, Batman, Batgirl, Batwoman, all white, all okay, but the moment one is, it's a token. But then he's talking about other spider people, and then he says if Silk was a white chick, you wouldn't be complaining. Which one is it? Which one is it? Pick one. Pick one. Am I saying that they're tokenized? Or am I not saying that they're tokenized? Oh, I answered the question. I'm saying that Batgirl, Batwoman, they brought up Thor. She Thor. Or she Thor. Well, just Thor, but she's tokenized Thor. Silk. Or the other spider people, right? Silk is a double whammy. Double whammy tokenized. Race change and gender change. This is why you dumbasses have such a weak argument. Well, at least I'm not contradicting myself. At least you're like, oh well, she's Korean, no, she's Asian, right? This is bad. You're acting like this is a problem with just being Asian, and then on the other side, you say that I'm okay with her being white, with like Batgirl, Batwoman, and so forth. You never complain nearly as much when the clone copy, rehash, or sidekick character is white. I don't know who he's referring to. Maybe he's talking to other people, but he can't be talking to me. Everybody knows I'm consistent on this matter. Like, you can be a white tokenized character. Like that's not exclusive, right? You can still remain white. They can change a character from a white man to a white woman, and it'd be tokenized. Like Marvel, which was a white skin. He's Kree, but he's a white skinned white man. And then in the movie, the Captain Marvel movie, he's an old ass white woman, tokenized. Where are you? I don't know why he's so confused at this. This is amazing. But I do complain. I do complain about that, by the way. How many times have Bruce miraculously found another orphan white boy to take under his wing without a peep of about tokens? Well, because if he's white, if the character's white like him, he wouldn't be token. He may be unoriginal, but he wouldn't be a token. Again, these are specific things that we refer to. At least I refer to. Excuse me. I use the term in the way that I use the term. There's specific things that I'm referring to. It's not out of inconsistency. If Tony Stark came across a smart white boy at MIT who was trying to play with his tech and took him under his wing to mentor him, no one would have said shit. Might have said that he was an original character, but he might still be a trash character. They probably wouldn't say that he's tokenized, but since it was a black girl, it was suddenly a problem. Yes, Ironheart is a tokenized version of Iron Man. It's ma'am. Anyway, when the Young Avengers came along and were almost copies of Major Avengers, the only person called a token was Black Captain America, not Lady Hawkeye. Lady Hawkeye is a tokenized version. All of these people are tokenized versions of other characters, some of them. But absolutely, Hawkeye is, which is what, talking about Kate Bishop, is a tokenized version of another character. They can pull these new characters taken away from existing heroes all day long as they are white. I don't know what that even means. Because the characters that I was talking about in this are original characters. When the Teen Titans came along, were they all tokens? Even though they were copies of the grown-ups downs to the power. I don't think who are you talking about? Of the Teen Titans. I mean, of the Teen Titans, you really can't make that case other than who? Maybe Flash, Kid Flash, which again is not a tokenized character. And Robin, which is not he's not a Batman. He's a part of the Bat family, but he's not a Batman. And he's not tokenized. You had 3 Green Lanterns before you had one black showed up. But when they added a Hispanic one, it's tokenized. Again, contradicting himself. And Green Lanterns, the fact that there's a Green Lantern Corps, it makes sense as to why there will be multiple different kinds of. There's alien Green Lanterns, there's white human Green Lanterns, there's obviously a black Green Lantern, there's multiple Green Lanterns. Green Lantern is just a name. There's multiple lanterns. So it makes sense to have, like, this is a little different with Green Lantern, right? Because you got Green Lantern as a clique. And it has fucking a lot of different folks to them, right? You can have a whole goddamn planet of Kryptonians who are basically white people. Yeah, they are. Who all have Superman's powers, but when they when they're getting their yellow sun, but the moment one of them in a brown, they are suddenly tokens. Well, yeah, Kryptonians tend to be, they've always been historically depicted as white. Then you're talking about Val-Zod. Val-Zod is a tokenized version of, so his name is literally Superman. He's tokenized Superman. Val-Zod is a tokenized version of Superman. That's all he is. We refer to him as Superman because he wears the S on his chest and everything. He's just wearing blue and red. Like, well, it's blue, red, and has the white to it, right? But yeah, he's tokenized version of Super. I don't know how this guy doesn't understand it. Shut the fuck up. And the video creator, you and your bitch fest all day about tokens of color, but you never made the same amount of videos about characters who are white. Okay. I've made videos. I talked about Batwoman being a tokenized version of another character. Marvel, I've talked about being a tokenized version of another character. I've made multiple videos actually defending an original black character, that is Monica Rambeau, because she's not a tokenized version of another character. She just has the name Captain Marvel, which was given her to her by the public. She has zero connection to the Kree, zero connection to Marvel, or anything like that. She's a completely different origin, completely different power base. All of that shit is different. But yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, because again, and I've said multiple videos talked about Thor, for example, becoming this white woman. That shouldn't be the case. I've talked about this and I've done videos on this. I've talked about it in stream, but certainly you've seen me be very upset about the Marvel change. Yet I don't know what you're talking about. This is one of those, again, he needs shit like this to be true. These are kind of dipshits that we deal with. Big wall of text, by the way. I cannot say that enough. And the shit comment section. Who the fuck is race bended? Well, they talk about race bent people when they change from one race to another. Now, maybe you think race bend and you think a character that is just the character, let's say, is the same exact name and everything. Like, say, Iris West. That will be an example, I guess, maybe to you of race bend, but that's neither here nor there. That's semantics at that point. Who the fuck is Riri race bending? Well, again, she's a tokenized version of Iron Man. She's again, double whammy, female black version of Iron Man. Who is Miles Morales race bended from? Again, you're using race bended, I think, to specifically mean, like, say, Peter, if we change Peter Parker into a black person, you'd say that was race bended. Nonetheless, Miles Morales is a black version of Superman. Talking about Khan bended from. Khan's just Miss Marvel. I don't think Khan is not she's a goofy ass character nonetheless. She's a trash character, but I've never used her as an example of being tokenized, if you will, because she does share that she's now Miss Marvel, obviously, which Carol Danvers was Miss Marvel, which was a tokenized version of Marvel in the first place, nonetheless. But she's not a Muslim version of Carol Danvers. Like, she's power base is completely different. Dumbasses like you would call Riri race bending and the problem, as if she was the first lady Iron Man or something. No. That all we're saying, at least I'm saying, that she's a tokenized version of Iron Man. Again, just because there's multiple tokenized characters doesn't mean that there aren't multiple tokenized characters, nor does it like change anything. Arbitrarily changing an existing character's ethnicities. Bro, list me these characters in comics who had their race arbitrarily changed. Well, we've been going through this entire deal. List me all of them. Let me know your lame argument right. You need no actual purpose for replacing an existing hero with a white person, but you need special, super deep, meaningful reasons if the same thing happens. Well, a lot of these characters are changed solely, like, if, for example, if you take a look at the creators of Miles Morales, they brought him in specifically because he was white. Oh, excuse me, he was black, or he was mixed, rather, biracial. They wanted a black Spider-Man. That was the whole goal. The whole goal was to tokenize Spider-Man. It wasn't, he just happens to be black. No, that wasn't the case. Either way, he's a tokenized version of Spider-Man. But yeah, we went through all that. That's a fun video. But the reason I wanted to do this video was because I want to, break some of that down. I get some insane comments like this. But in the same respects, it's full of people that straw man a lot of my positions and contradict themselves just for the sake of being contrarians. You got people that just want to be on the opposite end of the argument, and they're more worried about being on the opposite end of the argument than they are about actually making sense. This guy he contradicts himself. Remember, he went from you can have Batman, Batgirl, Batwoman, all white, all okay, but the minute one is Asian, it's Token. And literally 2 lines after, he talks about Thor becoming a woman, and then like he's contradicting himself. One line is, well, you wouldn't call them tokens being a woman, and then the next, oh, they're tokens because they're a woman. Look at this, man. But nonetheless, that's what I refer to when I refer to tokenizing. And I've been pretty consistent on this. I've been very, very consistent on this. And usually when I use the term, I define it. Like, go look at some of my videos that I've done specifically on this topic. I generally always define it. I always define what the term, because I don't want people to be confused as to what I'm actually saying. There's multiple tokenized characters. The tokenized characters, at least to me, will never be preferable to the original characters. And that's just what it is. You can take that in whatever way that you may. But that's going to do it, man. Bear Manly, hope you got some understanding now as to what the fuck I'm talking about. Until next time, y'all be easy.